Listen to this man. He got some good news for you. Hey, everybody, gather near. The doctor's in the house, so lend him your ear. The things he could say might even make your day. He might even help your pain go away. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor is in the house. Happy New Year. This is Dr. Ron, host of Dr. Ron, Unfiltered, Uncensored, welcoming you to year 2023. My God, where has it gone? We are already today in our episode number 465. Started this as a hobby and it's become a passion. So thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great year. Have that attitude of gratitude that you had over this holiday season and continue it forward for the year, being grateful for what you have. And let's see if we can improve what we can take care of in our own hands so that we can be the CEO of our own bodies and make decisions for our own bodies and listen to our bodies as good CEOs do. So I'm sure lots of you have considered you're going to make them New Year's resolutions. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about toxins because it's really important. Because as you maybe some of you have seen, life expectancy in the United States has fallen to 76.4 years, the lowest it has been in 26 years. The politician or the political scientists, the scientists that work for the government and for government funds will blame it on COVID and opioid overdoses. But this decrease in longevity fell into all age groups, even children. And children had virtually no COVID deaths nor opioid deaths. So this steady decline that started in 2021, we have to take note that it's happening, even though the scientists that work for the government or government money are going to try and gaslight us on this. Every age group in the United States has been affected by this. From young children to our senior citizens, 85 and older, they saw a rise in death rate. And men and women and most racial groups also lost ground. It's unusual in some years that when we have lost ground, it did not occur across all age groups. In fact, some age groups actually advanced in age. And the government reported last week that healthcare spending is going to be over $13,000 per person. And what are we getting for our money? What are we getting for our money, ladies and gentlemen? So that's why it's important that we take our health into our own hands. And let's start by not having resolutions to lose weight, to exercise more, to save money, spend more time with our family, or learn a new skill, whatever. Because fewer than 10% of people keep resolutions. Let's think of that. So the psychologist this year is saying instead of making resolutions, try to form new habits. Resolutions are vague. And they almost, as we say, they almost always fail. Habits, on the other hand, are specific. They're oriented toward a specific goal. and they empower you, and you want to keep your habits going and growing. So, and it can change your person, because your mind and will then assume this new personality of what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to be someone who spends more time with their family and friends and less time in front of a boob tube, remove the screen from your environment. Take an action. Make it difficult for you to put that TV on. Put it in a different room. Maybe you want to get rid of some of those social media apps that you spend so much time on. So do something so that you will have more time to spend with your family and friends. So tell yourself you're going to be someone who controls your destiny by controlling your technology, not someone that's controlled by your technology. Now, we didn't get our bad habits overnight, so don't expect our new habits to stick faster than our bad ones did. Right? We didn't get fat overnight. Set small but daily expectations of improvement. You're not going to be thin overnight. You're not going to be strong and muscular overnight. And those of us who remember Atlas, you're not going to become Atlas overnight. Aim for about a 1% improvement a day. Because all big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. But as you keep repeating it, it grows like grass, like sprouts. It gets roots, and then you get branches. So we want to cultivate these habits. A daily effort of 1% improvement will result in dramatic and drastic transformations over the course of a year. So build the behavior first and worry about the results later. Like a golf professional told me, concentrate on the process. Don't worry about the performance. And it works with our lives too. So, something else. You know that doctors are the third leading cause of death, right? But did you know that every 3 seconds someone gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia? Now Alzheimer's is the sixth leading cause of death in the world. More people die from Alzheimer's than breast and prostate cancers combined. Over 46 million people are losing their minds from Alzheimer's and dementia, and it's growing. And why am I mentioning this? Because we don't want you to get this. Because a recent article that showed that is titled "Inflammation in Midlife is Linked to Cognitive Decline." Higher blood levels of inflammatory markers in midlife are associated with cognitive decline years later in the decades leading up to adulthood. Quote, our results suggest that maintaining health and thereby reducing inflammation in middle age can have a positive effect on brain health in older adults. From the Department of Neurology at Johns Hopkins. Okay, so as we've talked about, inflammation is the basis of most chronic diseases. And these researchers measured inflammation in blood samples. And they found that with higher levels of this inflammation in midlife, you had more cognitive decline over the next 20 years. Of course, this study will have to be looked at again. But what would be so bad in keeping inflammation down? Because it will help a host of other diseases like, aging. So we want to eat better, right? We want to eat foods that are not inflammatory, like sugar and fructose right off the bat. So let's talk a little bit about Toxins, because they're all over. I mean, I could spend a whole podcast just listing the toxins that we come in contact with every day. Consider auto exhaust, paints, strippers, adhesives, cleaning products, heavy metal poisoning from fish. Some vaccines have mercury in them. Produce has pesticides on it. How about the cadmium from batteries, plastic, and insecticides? Aluminum, that's an antiperspirant, some cookware, antacids, skin creams, dandruff shampoo. Aluminum, look for that aluminum in the label. Excitotoxins. Excitotoxins can be food additives that overstimulate the brain. Aspartame and saccharin are excitotoxins. MSG is an excitotoxin. And dioxin and radiation and asbestos and vinyl chloride to make plastics are carcinogens. Formaldehyde, chlorine, and chloroform. Chloroform is released when you take a hot shower. The chlorine turns into chloroform. And what's the largest organ of your body? You got it, your skin. So your skin readily absorbs these toxins. I told you a little bit about acetaminophen, Tylenol last week, how it is a large contributor to a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. But it reduces our level of an important antioxidant called glutathione. Tylenol, reduce your use of it and never use it when associated with alcohol. Routine commercial household cleaners have acetone and benzenes. You get radiation from microwave ovens, electromagnetic fields that can damage our nerves and affect our brain. Well, not only from phones, but electric blankets, computers, and TV screens. And I could go on and on and on. It's a toxic world we live in. And very few of these products have been tested by the EPA. So we can't be scared out of our wits, but of course we have to do something about it. And one of the things we can do is be on the defense. Learn a list of toxins. Go to environmental working group, ewg.org, and look at all the toxins in our environment. Be familiar with them. Be familiar with the chemicals that are in our food, air, water. Important. Maybe then you'll realize how important it is to filter your water before you drink it. If I can find it, here's the toxins found in tap water. Pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, chlorine, pharmaceutical drug residues, radioactive substances, heavy metals, perchlorate, perfluorocatonic acid, PFOA. I can't even pronounce it. Can't be good, right? Fluoride, dioxins, and polychlorinated biphenyls. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has identified 700 pollutants that regularly occur in drinking water. And that is just what is identified out of a possible 30,000 hazardous pollutants entering our regular drinking water. Now, I'll tell you what, that got my attention. And we can change the heating and air conditioning filters often. And I can turn off Freddie Cooper here in a second. We can avoid aspartame and saccharin and Splenda and NutraSweet and artificial sweeteners in general. We can reduce or eliminate our exposure to secondhand smoke. We can watch how much we eat of processed foods and frozen dinners, all of which have, phytoestrogens and all these other chemicals in the lining of the containers. Avoid MSG. It's an excitotoxin. Try and buy organic when possible. I mean, and that's so you want to be conscious of what the toxins are and try and avoid them. Be on the defense. Limit the time you spend in a hot, steamy shower so you reduce the amount of chlorine and chloroform you're exposed to and therefore can get absorbed into your body. Try and eliminate the use of antacids that contain aluminum. Read your labels. And limit the amount of clothes you take to the dry cleaners. Okay? Air them out before bringing them indoors. Or if you can find an organic dry cleaner, that would even be better. But if you can't, let them stay outside. Don't bring them in the house right away. If you can't pronounce the words on a label, probably not a good thing. Skip it. And when you're cleaning, it's probably a good idea to wear rubber gloves. Be careful with bleach. Limit your chlorine exposure. Treat them as a poison. I'll tell you a little bit about laundry detergents. I did a podcast on it, but I'm going to just remind you about a few things about that in a second. And I can't tell you how many times I've told you to limit your use of cell phones and don't wear it near your body. Use earbuds when possible. Distance is your friend. And fragrances. EWG has lots of articles on this. Limit your fragrance exposure. Even the fragrant candles and fabric softeners. And look at the ingredients in your antiperspirant. And you know by now, you should know not to microwave anything with in a plastic container because they contain phthalates, which is a dangerous toxin. I don't know where to stop. Beauty products, cosmetics. We did programs on the lead and arsenic in lipstick and how much lead a woman accumulates in her lifetime from using lipstick, which is over about 2 pounds in her lifetime. And a couple of things. It is recommended that you limit your use of canned foods to the extent possible. Okay. And keep your body immune system operating at top efficiency. We talk about megaspore. Keep that microbiome in your gut. Have a superior interior. Keep your liver healthy. Use a systemic enzyme product like Zymescence that is antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, anti-aging, anti-fibrosis. Okay, I mean, drink good water. Learn about filtered water and learn about structured water. Now, in our house, we drink ozonated structured water. More about that at another time because it's a deep subject. And remember, your skin is the largest organ of your body. So when you launder products or you get them dry cleaned, they're loaded with chemicals. They could be absorbed right into your body. So what's it? Why be concerned? Why be concerned with detergents? Well, the first one I already told you about. They can be in contact with your skin all day, and for some people all night, especially if it's used on your sheets and bedding. They're not all magically washed away in the rinse cycle, huh? Many, they have determined, can remain in the clothing and in the sheets And that's the way it gets into your skin, into your blood. And some of the chemicals, I'm sure if you're washing your clothes, you can smell the fragrances. They can off gas into the air you breathe. And of course, these products are going to affect the young and the elderly or anyone with sensitive skin. They're going to be more prone to have problems. And we can't forget our pets, our dogs, our cats, and other animals that come in contact with bedding that's been washed, blankets or clothing on the people around them. In short, it's possible that unexplained allergies in your pets could come from laundry products, just as they can for humans. So just keep in mind that toxins in laundry detergent may cause you some harm. The fragrances are synthetic. They represent some of the worst chemicals you can be exposed to. And they can cause all kinds of allergic reactions and can also be carcinogens and endocrine disruptors. And believe it or not, it is not required to disclose fragrance ingredients. And that's something. There's a chemical called sodium lauryl sulfate, commonly used in detergent. It's a surfactant, which means it removes dirt and other debris from your clothing and also adds a foaming action. The problem with it is it can cause skin, eye, and lung irritation. And some people think it's toxic to the environment. Would you drink benzene? Well, benzene ingredients go by a few names, including benzyl acetate and dichlorobenzene. And the warnings for that include skin irritation, respiratory distress, and effect on the kidneys. It's derived from petroleum. So you really don't want a petroleum product in contact with your skin. We already know of years of being exposed to formaldehyde that it's a dangerous chemical. It's an embalming fluid. But it's in a lot of laundry detergents. And you won't see it in the label. Quaternarium 15 is a common preservative that releases small amounts of formaldehyde over time. They also hide formaldehyde in fragrances. And have you ever wondered how laundry detergents make your clothes look whiter and brighter? Well, the secret is an optical brightener. These chemicals actually do not whiten or brighten anything. What they do is coat your clothing with a substance that absorbs UV and violet light rays and remits them in the blue region of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's an optical trick. They trick your eyes into thinking the clothes are whiter and brighter without doing a darn thing in removing stains. The sad part is they can cause skin irritation, and they can harm the aquatic life. Artificial dyes, you wouldn't believe how bad they are. They're in some detergents, believe it or not. Well, I don't even know why they're in there, but adding dye is a common practice, they tell me. Sometimes it's done just to make the product look more appealing. So you have to be careful when you shop for detergents. Zero fragrance, naturally scented, plant-based, safe for humans and the environment. So that's the problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Ron. I will recommend, it's free, believe it or not. Just go, search for Bounce Back Big 2022. Bounce Back Big 2022. It's a ebook that was written by Riccati is her name, Sonia Riccati. Might give you a good template for forming some New Year's resolutions. And one thing she asks in this book is, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? If there weren't any obstacles in your way and you knew that anything you did, you would be successful, what would you do? What would you accomplish? What would you have in your life? Who would you have in your life? How would you be living your life? So you can have abundance, but you have to follow a blueprint. You have to write things down. You have to think big. You have to declare in writing what your big dream is. And she'll give you a blueprint on how to do this rather than me just tell you, because I'd be just repeating what she has written in her ebook. Write it. Just look for Bounce Back Big. And I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll feel good just reading it. Sonia Riccati. Well, we had an unfortunate incident last night. I'm sure anybody that watched football saw that young man go down on the field. Damar Hamlin, still in critical condition. I'm not going to comment a lot on this because it's nothing proven yet. But as you recall, the National Football League mandated the experimental jabs for its players in 2021. The Buffalo Bills team was the lowest vaccinated team. So they were gaslighted, and then they had an 85% vaccination rate. Well, I don't have the article here, but there was an article just recently of all the young sports people that have died on the field. And they were mainly associated with the experimental injection. So let's see what happens. Just you're not going to hear it on the mainstream because that would be considered a conspiracy. If anyone were to blame it, and anyone that would say it would be banned, I'm sure. So they'll blame everything else, but I hope I'm wrong and hope we don't see more of this. But it has been warned that anybody that's had more than 3 of these injections already has myocarditis. So let's just pray for this young man. So hi, Ahmed. Thank you for tuning in. Just decided to do this podcast on the spur of the moment. But we'll be back every Tuesday and try and bring you some news that you can use. I'm trying to remind you that, especially if you're going to start on a diet, it's not only what you eat, it's what you watch, it's what you listen to, what you read, who you hang around with. And we have to be careful what we put into our bodies, spiritually and physically. So here's this article. More than 769 athletes have collapsed on the field during a game from March 2021 to March 2022. This is reported on One American News Network, OAN. The average age of the athletes who suffered cardiac arrest was 23 years old. Then they updated this report. A team of investigators, news editors, journalists, and truth seekers detailed 890 cardiac arrests and other serious issues among athletes, including 579 deaths following the injections. So let's see where this goes, but we have to be mindful of this young man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Let's have a great year together. either probably next week we'll have Mr. Safer give us some words of wisdom on his natural health journey. He's finally retiring and with years of experience in the natural and alternative health field, and he hikes every day in the mountains and very mindful of breath, meditation, which is important for all of us this coming year. Okay, have a great day. We can. Okay, Ahmed is in the live studio. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I see your name, and let's see. I can invite you in a second because I have some time. But I really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll play this show again at 4 o'clock, which is our usual time on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Try to post a show every week at 4. Most of them are live like today, and some are not. Let's see if I can know how to work this board here. Unmute the user success. Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, I am there. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. I am new to this board, so I'm glad that you had a
Yes,
chance to say hello.
yes, you are great, and this is a great show. I just heard about your show, and this is amazing. And I am from Pakistan. Can I ask where are you from?
I'm from Naples, Florida.
And
I'm in the
where?
USA.
Okay, USA. So nice to meet you. Your show is excellent. I heard a little bit, but your show is very well.
Thank you. And I have an email if you care to hear any other topics. Basically, I want to empower listeners to take care of themselves. Uh,
Yes, I and you can see me as well. I am very healthy. I always like walking, and
that's great.
I yes, I always try to avoid junk food.
Well, that's important. Important to have a good frame of mind. Be grateful for what we have. Uh, drink good water. Exercise. Uh, and there's a spiritual side that is really important that we'll get into sometime. But I don't know that we can be complete with having a spiritual side, whatever that is for anyone, whatever that is as part of their life.
So,
So,
what? Yes, can I ask that what is meant by spiritual life? I have
I
no
mean,
idea.
being mindful of the universe, that there's a creator that's bigger than us,
Okay,
and someone that has given us the opportunity to take their natural resources and do the best we can with them, and not squander them or pollute them, like polluting the earth. Uh, that in that frame, that is what I believe.
okay, but can I ask that you have any idea about Pakistan? So, Pakistan is a very different society as compared to America.
I really don't. I know of only one person who I just met a month ago that was to Pakistan to sell his products there. But other than that, I really do not know. I mean, only what I'm hearing on the news, and that's I don't believe anything I hear on the news.
You know that Pakistan is a very poor country, and it is in the rank of third world country, and we are quite neighbor to Afghanistan. So there is instability always in Afghanistan. So you heard about the news of Taliban as well. So
Yes,
uh, yes, and mostly tribe area of Pakistan there is terrorism as well. So there is a not easy life. So a little bit tough, but people are very religious people. So people believe on God, but believing too much on God and just follow the old tradition is also not good from my point of view, because in the modern era, man should be liberal, open minded, and love for nature as well.
yes, yeah. I do agree that sometimes we rely too much on religion
Yes,
and
good to
don't
know that.
take enough action ourselves. And sometimes we don't always get the answer we think we should get, but that we have to accept that and move on.
Yes, you are right, and we should live a natural life. I believe on nature. Nature, and according to Wordsworth, you can live without society, but you cannot live without nature. So, nature is a mother. So, nature is a life giving thing.
You're absolutely right. Well, Ahmed, I really appreciate you calling. Maybe we can catch up next week again. Uh,
So, please tell me your schedule, that when I can join you. Please tell me your schedule on what day, on what day can I meet you, and can I call you, and so on. Please, I
oh, you,
like you. I like you.
Thank you. You can always call. If you get the Podbean app, I don't know if that's available there. They will tell you when I do a live cast. Other than that, it's generally between, I don't know the time difference, between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. on Tuesdays
Okay.
that we broadcast. 2 to 3. That would be uh, uh, let's see, 12, 13, 1400 hours to 1600 hours, to 14 to 1500 hour.
Okay. I think at same time. At same
Yes,
time.
more or less.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I will join you. I like you, and you are very good, and your task and your noble aim is very good. You like to help people, and this is a very good duty of human being to serve the other human being and provide them guidelines about the life and health.
Well, thank you. God bless. And we'll see you next week. Have a
Okay,
great
thank you.
week. I will pray for you.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Okay. Bye.
Hey everybody, Dr. Ron's finished for today. I hope you got some good wisdom for what the man had to say. If it's all about good health, he's the man you got to see. He has a lot more answers for you. So tune in next week when the doctor is in the house. Or when the doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. So if you have a pain, call the doctor. If you have a strain, call the doctor. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. See you next week.